Talk to me, to me. Majestic talks. Come and talk to me. Majestic talks. Come and talk to me, to me.
Hello, everyone. This is the Majestic Talk Show. I'm your host, Latasha Morgan, and welcome to the first show of the year. Today, we're going to be talking to Dr. Michelle Vann. She is joining us today on the show, and we're going to be talking about getting off the merry-go-round of life cycles. Dr. Vann is a wellness coach and owner of Vanntatstic Solutions. She is also an author, a professor, and she also has her own podcast show. Hello, Dr. Vann. How are you doing today?
I'm fabulous. It is great to be here with you tonight.
Oh, it's so wonderful to have you. Yeah, we're going to have a takeover today. She's going to take over and talk about cycles today. I was listening to her at an event, and I was like, oh my God, that would be so great for the show, the first show of the year, so that we don't continue to go through the same cycles we've been going through year after year. So I want you all to listen up to Dr. Michelle Vann as she talks about cycles tonight. Dr. Vann, it's over to you.
Thank you. I appreciate that, and I appreciate having the opportunity to share with you all tonight. As we talk about cycles, breaking the cycle of the merry-go-round, the first thing that kind of came to me was this song by Jonathan McReynolds, and the song he wrote this song called Cycles, and it just simply says, "Didn't I conquer this last year? Tell me what I missed, because I fear that it's coming back up again. Must be something I ate, some song, some show, some hate. The devil wants to extend the game, free throws, and when it ends, he wants to make the sequel, because if he has another chance, he feels like he can take my joy, my peace, my faith. See, the devil, he learns from your mistakes, even if you don't. That's how he keeps you in cycles. But I'm not going in cycles. This will end like I want to, I win. The enemy will have to lose again. See, I'm different fighter now, and I have God to thank, because his joy is my strength. See, the devil will learn it's a mistake when I am sure that I'm not going in cycles. I'm not going in cycles. I'm going to break the cycle. Now, I don't know what you're going through. I don't know, we just came out of a whole pandemic. We are just getting back to a place where we kind of feel safe to go into spaces and places with other people. Many of us lost loved ones. Some of us lost our jobs. Some of us transitioned in jobs. So there are all kinds of things that are happening in our life that can put us in a proverbial cycle. As we talk about breaking the cycle of the merry-go-round, I want to tell you just a little bit about me. A few years ago, God began to show me myself through this ideal of a merry-go-round, or a carousel is what you may call it. Often we think of things like merry-go-rounds or carousels as a pretty innocent. They tend to be in the middle of the carnival. They tend to be the attraction. They have the music, and they have the rhythm, and they look beautiful, and they have the horses, and they have the mirrors, and they have all of these things that attract us to the center of the carnival, to the merry-go-round, to the carousel. And often we think, as we look at this, that it's beautiful, but it's not the crazy rides that are spinning us upside down. It's a gentle kind of way that we can ride with our family, and we can put generational people of various generations on the same ride. But if we will open our eyes, we can learn from anything. We can learn from this merry-go-round. So in 2015, I hit what I would call a wall. It wasn't a literal wall. It was a mental wall. It was a spiritual wall. It was a emotional wall. I was teaching 8th grade at the time, and it was really about this time. We were coming off of Christmas break. We were coming back to school. And if you're a teacher, you know that, when you actually have time to sit down and plan really good lessons, you can come up with, this great. And so I had this great lesson. I had all these great videos, and we were watching, and we were talking about the fact that, they were going to be adults before they knew it. It was going to be 4 years, and they were going to be adults. They were going to be voters, and all of these things. And I had a kid raise his hand, and he said, yeah, that's all fine and good, and that's all great. But what are you going to do with your life? What are you talking about, little boy? My name is on the door. I have 2 degrees. What do you mean, what am I going to do with my life? He was like, well, this is fine and great and all good and everything, and it's great that you're here with us, and we love you. But, dude, is this really all there is to your life? And I blew him off, but I'll be honest with you that it really didn't go away. And I was teaching this lesson 6 more times for the rest of that day, and that question would not go out of my head. Is this really all I was supposed to do? Now, don't get me wrong. I did my job, and I did it great, and I impacted so many students. I have kids that come back now. I have, and they're adults, and they're going into education. So it wasn't that I wasn't doing my job, but was this all I was supposed to do? Was this really everything that I was supposed to do? And that question just kept ringing. I began to understand that until I truly knew and loved and affirmed myself, I would be on this merry-go-round, going around and around, but always ending up back at the same place, looking at the same stuff without recognizing that I was just repeating the cycle. It wasn't until I stopped and I allowed the mesmerizing music of that merry-go-round to soothe me and that up and down motion that was making me feel like I was making progress, I had to stop it, get off so that I could change my perspective. Before we go too far, I want to talk about the merry-go-round and its seemingly harmless and fun attraction on the amusement park. It seems to be the center, but it is the place where that beautiful, colorful, and that music can even get us in a place where we are in a trance and we are going through the motions, but there really isn't anything happening. Joshua 5:6 says that it's this way. The Israelites had moved about in the wilderness 40 years until all the men who were of military age when they left Egypt had died, since they had not obeyed the Lord. For the Lord had sworn to them that they would not see the land and had solemnly promised their ancestors to give us a land flowing with milk and honey. So if we're going to get off this cycle, if we're going to begin to understand how to get off this cycle, much like the Israelites, we have got to understand that the first thing that we must do is we've got to be obedient. Mm-hmm. Obedience is somewhat of a 4-letter word for many of us. We think back to the days of our childhood with unpleasant memories of being forced to obey our parents and our teachers. There's something within each of us that desires to not be told what to do. Oswald Chambers says it this way: the Lord does not give us rules, but he makes his standard very clear. If my relationship to him is that of love, I will do what he says. If I hesitate, it is because I love someone I have placed in competition with him, namely myself. Woo! I don't know about you, but when I read that, it hit me. When we are obedient, when we show God that we love him and have more faith in him than we do in ourselves, they were, when we look at the children of Israel, they were to take possession of the land, that land that God had promised their forefathers, a land flowing with milk and honey prior to entry. However, they became convinced that they could not oust the current inhabitants of the land. I don't know about you, but there are some things that God has promised me, but I'm afraid to move into it. I'm afraid to be successful sometimes because I don't feel adequate to evict the enemy that is in the land that has been promised to me. I don't know about you, but 40 years wandering in this cycle, 40 years of what should have been an 11-day journey. Sisters and brothers, we've got to get off the cycle. We've got to get off of this thing that has us bound because we have promises that we are not accessing because we won't be obedient to Holy Spirit. See, I know you don't really want to hear the instructions from the Lord because they will take you out of your comfort zone. They will push you to be vulnerable. They will push you to have to shut up sometimes. They will push you to do things that you believe are other people's jobs. But if we obey quickly, then there is a blessing in our obedience. Step number 2, get honest. Get honest with yourself and begin to truly evaluate where you are. What are your strengths and your weaknesses? Now, I want you to understand that I'm not talking about that weak sauce stuff that you put on your resume and say in your interviews. What is the truth about who you are? Do you really know what you like? Or do you just like something because your wife or your husband likes it? Do you know what you really like? What brings you joy? What is your purpose? And who are you supposed to be serving in this world? Until you can answer these questions, you will not truly be able to walk in your freedom. So I want you to challenge yourself. I want you to challenge your assumptions about your strengths and weaknesses. What story are others telling about you? But most importantly, what story are you telling about yourself? Eric Thomas, in his video, How Bad Do You Want It? He asked the question, do you really know yourself? He goes further to say you spend too much time studying other people, but you don't study yourself. When was the last time you sat somewhere quietly with yourself and got to know what you really want? We don't do it because we're worried about what other people have to say about us. We're worried about what other people think about us. We're worried about other people's opinions. But what do you believe that God is saying about you? What is God telling you about you? Have you taken the time to get to and to rediscover you? Okay, I'll stop. I'll stop snatching edges. Well, no, I won't. All right. I'm going to keep on going. So your breakthrough comes when you understand the purpose that Holy Spirit has birthed in you so that you become the river from which others are blessed. See, we're not getting all of the things that God is doing for us just for us. I'm getting blessed. I'm getting blessed so that I can be a blessing. When you know your area of opportunity, you can make better decisions and know how to collaborate so that your work is more fruitful with less effort. See, it's that collaboration that we really need. And I know that we've been told that women can't work together. We've been told all of these things. But brothers and sisters, I'm telling you, that's a lie. I want you to step number 3 is get your circle together. See, let me qualify this by saying I don't want you to just find people that look like you and sound like you. I want some people in your circle that are going to challenge you. Truth is, when I find the people that I'm supposed to be with, sometimes that truth that they have to tell me may hurt my feelings, but it's going to help me grow. They will lift me. They will pray for me. They will encourage me. They will push me. They will correct me. They will cover me. Proverbs 17 says a dear friend will love you no matter what. Get you a reliable circle. You are not built to do this life alone. Contrary to popular belief, judgment and enmity come from centuries of being put in competition with each other. Mm-hmm. See, we're not each other's competition. We're each other's cheerleaders. And when we come into this and we understand that we are on the same team, then we can push each other to success just by encouraging and motivating each other. So remember, I said get a circle. I didn't say get a crowd. I didn't say get a posse. This doesn't have to be a big group, but it needs to be a powerful and effective group. Jesus had 12 disciples, but he only had 3 in his inner circle. And if we really look at it, when it came down to it, and he was in the Garden of Gethsemane, and he was saying, could you not tarry with me 1 hour? And he's trying to wake them up, and, like, dude, why are you sleeping? Like, I'm about to go through the worst time of my life, and y'all are, and he realized that at that point, they couldn't be of help, and he had to do this thing on his own with his Father. And there's some things that we can take our friends with them. We can take our girls with them. We can take our partners with. And then there's some things that God is trying to do for you on your own. Mm-hmm. So don't be so caught up in the circle, but know that you do need a circle in order to help you grow and to become who you're called to be.
Yes.
This circle, again, should push you to places that make your passion and your purpose boil forth. But you can't truly operate in passion until you know who God has called you to be. Step number 4, let the main thing be the main thing. There's a book out by a guy by the name of Greg McCowan, and it's called Essentialism. And he shares the ideal that once you give yourself permission to stop trying to do it all, to stop saying yes to everyone, you can make your highest contribution towards the things that really matter. Mm-hmm. See, I don't have to be everything to everybody. I just have to be the right things to the right somebody at the right time. Spending a lot of time chasing squirrels when sometimes when we were designed to soar with the eagles. We must edit the non-essential things out so that we can truly become clear on the things that are truly essential for our life. Mm-hmm. Get you some boundaries and stick to them. Ask yourself, is this really essential for me to do, for me to think, for me to engage with, to be at the place of my highest good? Ask yourself, what is my highest good? How do I contribute to this world in a way that I am giving back the thing that God has placed inside of me? If I'm not, if my answer is no to am I doing the best, am I doing the thing that God has called me to do, am I engaged with the people and the things that are bringing the highest good, if my answer is no, then God has called and equipped you to specific tasks and purpose, so walk in that. Walk fully in your faith. Believe that God will show you the next step along the way. I heard someone saying yesterday that, there are times in our life when we're given opportunities. We're given 2 paths to go down to. And sometimes we don't know which of those to choose. But if we'll ask Holy Spirit, he will lead us and he will guide us and he will lead us to a path that will also give us other opportunities. So as we are looking, as we are moving into this new year, as we are trying to make the main thing be the main thing, you must guard your health. Take time to rest and eat well. In this new year, I know, if we're honest, all of us are looking at the grocery prices and are like, what in the heck is going on? Mm-hmm. But part of that is as we use our services, as we use our money, as we use our time, how do we eat to live, not live to eat? Mm-hmm. We've got to make sure that in this season, we are nourishing our body, our mind, and our spirit. And we must protect them at all costs. So I can't do and I can't be any place that God hasn't called me to be because I'm going to exert energy that I don't have to give. Take the time to rest. You only get one body. And if you're worn to nothing, you will not be able to bear the fruit that your life deserves to bear. See, brothers and sisters, I know that it's easy for us to say yes to everybody because we believe that if we put it out in the universe, that it'll come back to us. But I want you to begin to understand that exerting all your energy for other people is not necessarily the best for you, and it will not produce the best in you. So as we look at this year, as we look at how we are setting our goals and how we are setting our vision and how we are manipulating and maneuvering our time, what is God's best for you? So I encourage you, my dear friends, obey quickly. Don't think about it too long, because if you think about it too long, you'll go wrong. Get honest with yourself. I know I have, and I'm sure you have. We have all lied to ourselves, if nothing else, that we were going to go on a diet tomorrow. And then we ate everything that we wanted to eat because we was on a seafood diet, and we ate the food that we saw, right? We've all done it. Get you a circle. Ask Holy Spirit, who am I supposed to be in allegiance with? Who is supposed to be on my team, and whose team am I supposed to be on? Because we should be helpers one of another. And finally, I want you to make sure that you let the main thing be the main thing. Don't be caught up in everybody else's stuff. See, when I wrote this book, it was because I had been so caught up in doing everybody else's business that I lost myself. I lost who I was supposed to be and what I was supposed to be doing. While I was nourishing everybody else's children, mine were being left alone. Not physically, but they were not being taken care of the way they should have been. Let this be the first day of the rest of your life. Let this be the day that you break the cycles that are in your life. Whether that's addiction, whether that's that you have been in a situation where every single generation has had a marriage or a child out of wedlock, where you have always been in these cycles of poverty. Whatever your cycle is, whatever has been going on in your life, and you can look back and you can say, my grandma did this, my mama did this, but I don't want to be this anymore. I'm telling you that you can break the cycle. I don't know what you're called to do or what you're assigned to do, but I want to be able to, in my life, give away everything that I was assigned to give away and plant every seed that I was assigned to plant, because I want to be that person that God is calling me to be. I want to live the life, this life, to its fullest. I know we sing about going to heaven, but I promise you, sisters and brothers, that there is supposed to be some heaven on this side, on this earth. So be blessed and know that you can break every cycle that has been in your life.
Oh, my goodness. Dr. Vann, thank you so much. That was so awesome. I see a lot of hearts and lights here. I'm sure this is just touching all kinds of people. So,
Amen.
You said that what made you break the cycle was being in your classroom and the child told you that. Why do you think we continue to go in the same cycle? Do you think it's because we are comfortable in it, we're afraid of it, or what is it? And what should we do to change that?
I think it's all of that. I think we get used to, so I use this analogy a lot. When we were growing up, my uncle, he used to have these pit bulls, and they would fight. And so he had this one. It was huge. And the dog was on this chain. And you could see when she was on the chain that she had this path, that she was always in this path. Well, one day we went in the backyard, and the chain had broken. It had come loose. But because she had been so conditioned to be in this path, because the chain was broken, but it was still on her neck. And so she felt like she was still chained to the fence, even though she wasn't. And a lot of times I believe that that's where we are. We are chained to these systems, and we're chained to these ways of life, so much so that even when an opportunity for us to be free is available to us, we don't take it because we don't know how to operate outside of this conditioning. And so too often we stay right where we are, doing the same thing over and over again, complaining to our friends and family about how we hate it, but we are too afraid to jump. And so we stay.
Oh, my goodness. That is...
I taught for 20 years, and I walked away from it. I had no idea what I was going to do, but I knew I couldn't stay there.
That's true. That's right. That's good. Oh, my goodness. That is so good. And that is speaking to so many people, even to me. Because, yeah, you're right. We do continue to talk about something that we don't like, and we still stay on that job. We still stay in that church. We still stay in a relationship. We still stay in whatever it is that we're in. We stay because we're comfortable, because we are... It's like you're keeping yourself in bondage just because you don't know what to do.
Absolutely.
Even though God frees you up and he gives the opportunity in the way, he opens the door, and we still don't walk through because of that fear. Yeah, that's amazing. I wanted that to be taught today because, like I said before, we really need that in order to change the year. I thought that should be the beginning of the year, breaking the cycles, because every year we make a New Year resolution and we don't keep it, or we're too afraid to do it.
Right.
So I wanted people to get that and understand and get that in their spirits for the year. So even as you're changing, even if you move from that thing that's holding you and then you relapse, get back up and go and do it again. Try again.
Right.
Keep on trying until you get it right, because that's how you change, by continuously to do. You don't just stop making changes and stop going around the merry-go-round, because stop getting off the merry-go-round because you keep failing. Just keep going and keep moving.
And I think one of the things that you just said, as we think about being afraid, fear, and we say it all the time, that it's that false evidence appearing real. But I think the thing is that because we don't have great models in our life, because we don't position ourselves to be in places where we can see people doing the things that we want to do. I mean, at the end of the day, if you and all of your buddies and all the people that you're hanging out with are all doing the same thing, somebody has got to break out and find a model so that you know how to go forth. Most people stay within a 6-block radius of their area because they don't know how to get out, because they don't see anybody else doing anything different. You've got to get some models. You've got to find some people that are doing what you want to do and say, can I come along?
Yeah, that is so true. Oh, my God. Dr. Vann, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you talking about getting out of cycles, getting off the merry-go-round of life. I appreciate you being here. This has been an excellent show, and it is time to go. That time came so quickly. Y'all, thank you so much for watching the show. Dr. Vann, tell them how they can get in touch with you. Before we go, let them know how they can get in touch with you or contact you.
My website is www.vanntatstic, V as in Victor, ANNTASTIC Solutions.com, or you can find me on Facebook or Instagram. You can just look up my name, and I'm in both of those places.
Okay, thank you. I hope that people enjoyed this show. Please let us know how much you enjoyed it in the comments. Thank you again, Dr. Vann. This is the Majestic Talk Show. I'm your host, Latasha Morgan, certified Christian life coach, certified professional life coach, board certified master Christian mental health coach, and a whole lot of other good goodies. Y'all, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time on the Majestic Talk Show. Good night.
Talk to me, to me. Majestic talks. Come and talk to me. Talk to me, to me. Majestic talks. Come and talk to me. Majestic talks. Come and talk to me. Majestic talks. Come and talk to me, to me.